Hey guys, welcome to Cab Radio episode 3. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking about basically what I've been doing for probably the past week or, recent events. Um, During this week, we played a ton of games as usual. We played some League of Legends, some PUBG, Apex, Modern Warfare Warzone, and then the big ones, Final Fantasy XII. I started a playthrough on that. And once again, it's starting to get difficult. And we played some Destiny 2. They are Billions, Street Fighter 5, Rainbow Six Siege. And we also had some things that I want to talk about in more detail. For one thing, the Xbox Live event that happened, and certain things that I have going on in my life that are, I think, interesting and kind of cool. Something that I've been wanting to do since basically high school. And one of that is, making music, even though I'm not great at, the instruments that I play, whether it be guitar or sometimes the piano. I do have some music ventures, more so as kind of a lesser hobby because I've never actually put the time into learning the guitar that much. Like, I play it for fun from time to time, but I still feel like I have melodies in my mind that I'd like to put out there. And also, I have goals as far as trying to monetize and just kind of put my content out there to where I can kind of get something out of the time I put into these things. Like I love drawing, I love making music, I love streaming and all that, but it's kind of hard when I'm working and my wife works and I got kids and everything. So I'd like to make this hobby of mine be more I don't know how to explain it. I guess solid in a way, as far as like income and everything, since I put so much time into it. But yeah, I'll be talking more about that stuff too. But today, just kind of hanging out, talk about the games that I've been playing, just kind of quick little insights as to what I think of the current situation. I guess we'll start with League of Legends. League of Legends. Let me tell you about League of Legends. League of Legends, probably one of my favorite games of all time, but also one of the games I hate the most of all time. And mostly because I love the strategy side of this game, right? League of Legends 5v5 going up against real people instead of bots, which I'll go into later with for other games. But when I was brought to this concept, it was probably when I was younger, and there's a game called Goblin Commander, and for the GameCube, and I had a friend that I used to play this game with. It was basically, I don't know, kind of like StarCraft, where you kind of build up your base and you venture out into these woods and collect things to build what you're doing, and then you end up going to your other opponent's base, which was my friend, and you destroy their base in order to win the game, right? And one of the most fun games I've ever played. That was the first intro to these types of RTS, over the top, strategy games. And I never really played StarCraft or whatever, but League of Legends was kind of my next step into addiction, I guess. But League of Legends, personally, I only play ranked. I've been playing the game for probably about 8+ years, ever since like 2011, I think. Season 2, like the end of season 2 or something like that, and immediately I was hooked. Currently, I'm always trying to play ranked games, and mostly because normals don't really do it for me anymore. It's, I like to play for something. I like to play for keeps. I like to, play for those LP points to see if my skill range is going higher or lower. And I think personally that it does kind of show your skill according to your rank and everything, but at the same time I feel like it's not completely true. Mostly because you get games that are bad, right? Like I've had some bad games, but there are also games where you're not, your entire team is getting massacred and you're the only one trying to keep it together. And then of course, I guess personally for me, I'm not at that skill point where I can carry a game, right? I'm not gonna 1v3, 1v5. Occasionally, I do turn out successful in certain situations. Like, I have a clip out there where I'm 1v3ing like with Darius, and that's Darius for you. But basically, League of Legends, currently I still love the game, even though I kind of took like a break like last year, mostly because I was kind of frustrated with the whole toxicity and the way the game goes. And I'm not the type of person who plays one champion. I venture into different roles, and I'm playing Ezreal this game, I'm playing Lucian another game, I'm playing Lissandra, and hopping onto Rengar or something. Like I'm normally the fill role, right? And League of Legends kind of, it's I'm kind of in a weird roller coaster ride where I win some games and then immediately I begin losing those games that I've won. Just gaining LP and then losing LP. And right now, like, League of Legends is still fun for me, but at the same time, it's a little bit draining when you're constantly like at an even win loss rate. You know what I mean? And I think I'm still gonna keep playing, but there's a goal out there where I want to reach gold, because that's where I was a few years ago, pretty consistently. Probably like for 3 or 4 years I was in gold status. But I think the past couple of years I kind of like stopped playing, and then I've been in silver, and I don't really know if my skill just stagnated and I'm just kind of not going anywhere. Maybe because I don't play it as often as I used to. But League of Legends, I put so much money into the game with skins and that type of thing, and in my thoughts, in my mind, in my heart, I still love the game. It's brought me a lot of fun times, joy. I made friends through it. And I think currently I'll just keep playing it for the time being. But currently League of Legends is still on my list of things to do. And who knows if I'm going to get that gold. I'm already running out of time. I think November is normally around the time where the season ends. And right now it's the end of July. So good luck to me, huh? And yeah, it's pretty much for League of Legends. My current thoughts on the game and the phases I'm going through. There's a few games that are kind of similar that we played this week. PUBG, Apex Legends, and of course Warzone, the battle royale games. And here's the thing with battle royale. Like, I like battle royale, mostly because of the concept and the idea. Kind of like League of Legends, you're playing against people around the world, and you're putting your skill up to the test against other people, right? And PUBG currently has been pretty fun. It's been pretty fun. I think I don't know if they updated the graphics or anything, but the game actually looks pretty decent. Um, I think the game kind of has a weird control feel to it, mostly because like when you hop, you're kind of stuck in that animation of getting like dropping to the ground, right? So there's not that much great control of the game, but it's kind of precise, right? Like when you fight with your weapons, and having a scope is kind of the way to go. It's kind of hard to survive without a scope. And people with the, you know, 4x times or 8 times or whatever scopes out there, you know, they're always like popping people's heads off and and getting away with it. And I definitely know how the feel of a really good scope taking people out left and right. And PUBG has been kind of started feeling fun recently, especially like the new season dropped and everything. And I think a lot of things I've seen are kind of new. And you know, with the last map that came out, you know, where you blow up walls, and it's kind of a smaller map, so you're engaging people more often, which is, I think, even more hilarious and good times. But something that I guess it's come to light. There's, you know, they have bots in the game, probably because the game isn't as popular. I think this last season that came out, it's kind of bounced back up. I think I saw in the community hub it was like over 100,000 people, which is a lot more than what it used to be like a week ago or so or whatever. But I think personally for me, it's been fun, like hopping into the different maps, and the graphics and the look of the game looks really good, because at the beginning when it first launched, right, there's only like a few outfits, and your characters kind of looked all janky and everything, and I think with the new I guess looks and outfits, and you could change the look of your character and stuff like that, it's made it more interesting, so it looks better than your default person and whatever that you're going for. But you know, the gunplay is still really nice, and running around is still very boring. Because you know, those are the moments where I'm just like, oh, this is the worst part of PUBG. Like everybody's hiding probably, and nobody runs around. They're probably stuck in a house somewhere, like sitting in a corner, and like after they looted what they wanted, and then they're just waiting for somebody else to pop in so they could take their stuff. And meanwhile, I'm running around out in the open, right? And I'm just like driving around in vehicles trying to search for people, and you know, being a little bit stealthy, but at the same time, I'm trying to look for conflict. I'm trying to have fun with the game. And my idea of fun is engaging in combat with other people. But apparently, you know, battle royales don't really reward that kind of thing. Most people are always hiding in the bushes, or, you know, hiding in buildings, and they're refusing to engage. And yeah, currently, you know, seeing bots in the game, it's kind of irritating me, kind of like Fortnite. But Fortnite was way worse because, you know, nobody likes to see walls built in front of them, and it's really irritating. But anyway, PUBG, it's come to light that there's bots in the game, and that's one of the reasons why, like, I definitely like just quit Fortnite. It's like, what's the point of playing Fortnite or whatever if there's like, you're not going against real people? Like, you're getting these kills and they're meaningless, and it's just dumb. It's just dumb. And then once, like, I saw it in PUBG, and I'm just like killing players, and like their name looks suspicious, and they were doing something really dumb, and it's just like, oh, okay, that was probably a bot. And it's hard to see real players, because sometimes the bots shoot at you, but you know, like you kill them and supposedly outplay them, but you know, I'm thinking there's a lot of bots in the game now, mostly because the popularity of the game has gone down, and so they're trying to lessen the queue times and everything. But I really wish they would do away with that. Maybe just drop the player to count to 70 or something. Just lower the player count so there's actually real people in there. And yeah, but PUBG has been fun. I like the look of the game. I think the environments and the the setting is better than most of the games. Apex, for one thing, I like the characters, I like the skills and everything, but everything about that game just kind of feels the same as far as running around and trying to engage. But that's an entirely different thing, because Apex is fun mostly because it's quick, it's fast paced. Unfortunately, it's still hard to find people because people are hiding and stuff, but whatever. But I still plan on playing PUBG. PUBG is starting to get in my fun zone, if you like to say that. And yeah, I'm having a lot more fun with it. Hopefully they do better and change the bot system, because personally I don't like that. And Apex, I like it, but not as much. Mostly because the trios that you get are, they die and then immediately they quit, and I don't think there's a solo playlist. I kind of wish there was a solo playlist, but it's kind of difficult. Otherwise, people will probably be playing one champion and nobody else would play any others. But everyone's going to pick Lifeline so they could heal all the time, or something like that. Or, but yeah, Apex. Like, I don't like their trios. I don't like their duos. I think it's been harder to find games. I don't think they have any bots in that game, which, kind of shows when you're in a queue for like 5 minutes and you're wondering, like, am I gonna get a game? Mostly on PC. I think PS4 is a lot faster, but the queue times are still pretty long. But I have a little brother who plays Apex Legends, and we hop on that from time to time. So that's one reason why I'll keep playing Apex. It's still fun in some regards, but currently I think PUBG is kind of like the top of my list. And then the last battle royale, Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare looks good. It looks good, but it pisses me off, like with the shading and the shadows, and it's so easy for people to hide in buildings, because when you rush into a building, it takes a little bit for your eyes to adjust to the light in the room, right? Because when you're running around outside, the brightness is different, and so like when you're outside looking into a building, it is so dark in the doorway or whatever inside the building, and you can't see anything. Meanwhile, the person inside the building can just see everything. So it really promotes hiding in buildings, and the lighting is kind of terrible. I think I saw a clip of a bigger streamer saying like he was saying the lighting is garbage, and I agree completely. They need to change that or something, so where you visually you can see inside buildings, and you're not just looking at dark space. But I like the feel of the guns. I like the feel of the movement in Modern Warfare. But it's just, the lighting is so terrible, and I think there's a lot of cheaters in that game too, like a ton of cheaters. So that's a problem, definitely. I don't think I've really, I don't go looking for cheaters in a game. If I die, I'm just like, oh, okay, it looks like I died. But in all honesty, like, Warzone is kind of terrible, mostly because of the whole 150 players. I think 150 players is the cap for a battle royale game, and I think that's excessive. I think they should bring it down to 100 or whatever. At first, I thought it was pretty cool. I was just like, whoa, 150 players, you know what I mean? And when you play the game and it's just like, oh, I've been in this game for so long and there's still 50 something players left. And it's just going on and on. And even though you're like killing people and like, you kill like 9 people or something and there's still like 50 something players left at the end. And then you get killed by some dude hiding in a building. It's really just it's a long drawn out game, and I don't like that quite a bit. I think most of it is also because of the buy-in system, where you could buy your teammates back, or you have the gulag, where you have a second chance at life. It's cool, the whole gulag thing, but I think it would work if there was less people, like less players. Because 150 players is just a little too much. It takes a while for a match to end if you're kind of reaching the top of the charts, I guess. I don't know. But Warzone is fun on some occasions, but it's definitely one of those games where I'm just like, let's play some Warzone, and then eventually get tired of it in like a half hour to an hour. So I'll still play Warzone, but not as much as the other games I was talking about. And, that's like the Battle Royale family for me. Who knows if there's more Battle Royales that are going to come out. I don't think I'm going to play that Hyperspace from Ubisoft. It doesn't look interesting. I don't like the look of the game for the most part. But yeah, so far PUBG kind of reigns king for me currently in this current state of games, I guess, as far as Battle Royale goes. But yeah, that's pretty much, my whole thoughts on the Battle Royale games. Mostly because I've been playing it recently, and, I just wanted to let you guys know, like, how I feel about the games I'm playing and, my personal thoughts on it, especially in this current state. And I guess we'll move on to Final Fantasy XII. Final Fantasy XII. I've been having a ton of fun with Final Fantasy XII. It's one of those games that I think are super underrated as far as the Final Fantasy series go. I definitely like the characters a lot more than 13. 13, I've gone on rants about that before. Most because 13, their characters are extremely annoying. Like, extremely annoying. But Final Fantasy XII, I played that this week, and oh man, I missed it. I actually missed it. When you get the it's kind of that Star Wars feel, right? Where it's kind of political, and you got 2 major factions that are going against each other, and your hero Vaughn is just kind of like some ordinary kid who strives to be something bigger, and I love those types of stories. And the story is interesting, even though I kind of get lost in the I guess the politics of it all, because there's a lot of text in the beginning when it's telling the backstory of the kingdoms and everything. But for the most part, I guess I kind of get the picture. But the gameplay is really good. I really miss story games where, you're playing the game and then you reach a certain area, and then you get a cutscene, and then you get stories through cutscene. I feel like, I played Destiny 2, and it goes to show that, like, there's some games that still do it, but I think there's also a lot of games that kind of like sacrifice cutscenes for, just gameplay or maybe graphics or something. Maybe it's just too much work to do cutscenes and whatnot. But, I really miss those story games like Final Fantasy, where you're growing as a character, you're leveling up, you're finding new weapons and items, and you're kind of exploring the area. You're opening canisters and fighting tons of different enemies, and you're going to new areas, and you see different types of environments. Like there's a desert environment and like a little swamp area, and I think I really miss those games. And Final Fantasy XII is a game I played back in my youth, when I was in high school when it first came out, I think. And I never beat the game. I would always go back to it, but I'd always get stuck on it. Probably like 20 plus hours, maybe 30-ish hours into the game, and then I'd end up getting stuck, which is kind of sad because I love that game, but I think it's pretty difficult as far as the other Final Fantasy games that I played. And I still plan on playing more. I'm about 10 hours in, I think. And I'm trying to think of the last place I was. I remember escaping the Dreadnought, and then we were doing a bunch of stuff in, a tomb of, what was that? Wraithwall? I think that was his name. Wraithwall's tomb. But anyway, that was pretty cool. But Final Fantasy XII, the art design, I think a lot of my art was kind of, I took a lot of aspects of the art design in this game and kind of took it into my art, right? And, I really appreciate this game for, all the things. I remember grinding and leveling up and listening to My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, when that came out around the same time as this. And I was just, I always think of those tunes in my head when I'm playing this game. Every time I take a look at it or something, I'm always thinking of My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade. Some of you might not like that, but, it's just one of those things in my younger years when I used to play these games. But there's those moments in time where you're doing something and then you are also doing something else, and it correlates, and if you're doing one thing or the other, it always reminds you of the thing. Like all right, probably not important, but I talk about Final Fantasy XII, and immediately I think of My Chemical Romance. Or I think of My Chemical Romance, and then I think of Final Fantasy XII. So, both good memories of my past, so it's always a nice thing. But yeah, I like the new update of the game. I mean, I'm playing it on PC, and it's like the remastered version, and it looks really good. I mean, I think of the past and playing it on the PlayStation 2, and I don't remember it looking this good. It looks really good. But yeah, I plan on playing more in the future. I'm still 10 hours in. Hopefully I beat it and don't quit. I don't think I'm going to quit, but I have no plans on quitting. I'm not a quitter, but let's just say I haven't finished this game. And we'll see if I get that done, because I really want to mark that Final Fantasy off my list, because it's a great game. It's really good. And, I love the characters. I love the art design. I love mostly everything about it. Mostly everything. The combat system is really good, too. It's fun. It's fun seeing those little light arcs just, targeting your enemies and stuff and all that. It's really cool. But, yeah, Final Fantasy XII. Look forward to it in the future. I'm not done with it, and we'll try to finish it along with all the other Final Fantasy games. And with that, we're gonna another game that I played this past week, Destiny 2. Destiny 2. I love Destiny 2. Unfortunately, it's going down a path where I lose interest in the game, which shouldn't be a problem. Mostly because they're kind of going by a week-to-week basis of telling the story. And, I really wish they would bring the story elements up front and let the players invest their time in it and finish the story. Because currently they're releasing the story each reset on Tuesday. And if you didn't finish the missions or whatever in the previous week, then you basically missed out on that piece of story. And I think it rotates and cycles every 3 weeks, possibly. I think, but currently, I think I did it for like 3 weeks, and then the last week I kind of just didn't do it, mostly because I was playing other games and I just wanted to do other stuff. But I really wish that they would have all the story elements up front so I could see it and I don't miss out on anything. And before, when they released DLC and, with Curse of Osiris and Warmind, or even the base expansions and everything, you could just like hop in, spend 20-30 hours or whatever playing the game, beating it, PvP, PvE, everything that you could do, farming and everything. You could do it all as long as you put the time into it. And it's a little disheartening when you put so much time into it and then it's like, all right, wait for the next week. And then you're just sitting there waiting for the next week, and then by next week you're just kind of like do I really want to play Destiny 2 right now? And then you just kind of forget about it, as far as my personal mind goes, because I play a ton of different games, and you play Destiny 2 and do the stories for 3 weeks worth, and then immediately you're just kind of drained, and I just don't want to play it this week. And then you miss that part of the story, which is kind of sad. And it probably wouldn't be so bad if the story that you're doing wasn't so repetitive. Because currently, I believe in order to do the story each week, you have to do some bounties, go to a contact point and kill a bunch of enemies and do the little public event there, and then you go and do a mission that's kind of been the same each week, and it's just been repetitive and redundant, and I don't know how long I'll be able to keep that up. I mean, like, I'll still play Destiny. I'll always still be there for Destiny. But I'm really going to be bummed out missing parts of the story if they keep going by this week-to-week basis. And I really hope they change it. Maybe kind of tone it down with the repetitive bounties and missions and everything. But I think killing 100 enemies over and over again each week is kind of stupid. I don't like it. I hate it. And I really hope they change it, because I like the Curse of Osiris, and even though everybody hated that story, the way they laid it out, going to cinematic and beating missions and stuff, I prefer that. I really do. And I think one of the reasons why they hated Curse of Osiris was because the story was pretty much garbage. Like, it didn't seem important or relative to the entire base of Destiny, and it just kind of I guess was exposition for certain background stories with Osiris and everything. But anyways, I really hope they change it, because I don't want to kill 100 enemies each week over and over again, and I want real story content that is there and you're immersed in it, and not just filler, And I played Destiny 2, played some PvP, and had some fun with it. And I hope to do some raids. I really want to do raids, but it's so hard to find a raid group, and especially a raid group that isn't really touchy, and they get pissed off easily. And it's one of those things about people who don't like to, be lenient towards those who are more casual, or, like, who don't like to, play to the optimal level. And for me, I definitely don't care for optimal uh, gaming. I like to play what I play. I'm not a tryhard, even in competitive games. In League of Legends, I play a ton of different champions, and I'm not a one trick. I hate being tied down to one thing. And in Destiny 2, I'm hopping from different weapon to different weapon, and whether it's a garbage weapon or if I like the feel of it, then I'll use it. And I don't normally stick to a weapon over and over again like most people. Apparently they go for those god rolls, and oh, this is the best gun in the game. And I feel like most people in the community, they don't even like know why it's the best gun in the game, right? They just kind of copy other people in the community and be like, oh, this is the best gun in the game. Oh yeah, it is the best gun in the game. And they're just copying each other and telling each other, yeah, this is the god roll right here. And like they use the gun, and they're probably not even good with it. It's just one of those things where people think like optimal is best, and I guess they're having fun. I guess some people are having fun, but I hate it when they force it on other people, and they're telling people, you're not using this gun? Well, get out of here. I don't want to raid with you. You're not using this subclass of Titan, Warlock, Hunter? Well, then get out of here. I don't want to play with you. And personally for me, if you're a Destiny 2 player out there and you want to play what you want, have fun with the game, not be tied down to certain specs or guns or subclasses, add me on Destiny 2 PC or PS4, Cab 2013, and we'll go raiding and stuff. It's should be good times. But I'd like to raid more. We'll see how that goes. But we'll try to get that done. And enough of Destiny 2. We're gonna go to another game. It's good. This is gonna be a quick one, mostly because it was just a quick game I played. They Are Billions. I don't know if you guys heard of this, but They Are Billions. It's a real-time strategy survival game, and basically you build up your little town, your little homes, and your soldiers and everything, and you build them up. And meanwhile, there are these zombies just kind of meandering about in the fog of war, right? Areas where you can't see. And as you're building your town, the more zombies come, and they try to come and attack you. And eventually, if you don't fortify your defenses, if you don't build up your army, if you don't have the correct energy, or you're not using your surroundings right, and you got to feed your people. You make sure they don't starve, and if they are starving, then you can't build more places because they're not working. And eventually, if you have one weak spot in your fortifications, there's going to be that one zombie that sneaks through, and he just kills off whatever small tent you have, and then it spawns into 3, and then they go and kill another tent hanging out right next to it, and then that spawns into another 3. So you got 6, 8 zombies hanging out, and then they spread basically like they want to eat your brains immediately. And I love the game so much, but I feel like in order to get good at it, you have to consistently play it like over and over again. Trial and error. What's the best way to get your food and everything? And currently I'm like at 110% trying to get through. And I played it this weekend, and I had a save all set up. And it was probably several days into the thing, and I had built up some fortifications, and kind of had a game going to where it's not the slog and slow pace in the beginning, because in the beginning it's kind of a slow burn until it starts picking up later when you start building everything. So I had a save ready, and probably 10 minutes in, some freaking zombie comes and sneaks by, infects a part of my camp, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's it for There Are Billions. Thanks for watching There Are Billions, guys. But yeah, There Are Billions. Look it up. It's a fun game, fun RTS. You'll learn to be disappointed with yourself, kind of like I do. But if you like high stress, high strategy, kind of long, maybe I think a session probably takes like 4 hours if you're kind of maybe no average maybe at the game, depending on how much you pause and everything. I try not to pause because it makes things more interesting. But yeah, there's a pause function to kind of like think and strategize what your next moves are going to be. But yeah, that's They Are Billions. We'll definitely see more of that because it's a great game. Another game I played, Street Fighter 5. We are in Super Silver, and I've always been a fan of Street Fighter. Street Fighter is one of those games where, I played Street Fighter 2 when on the Super Nintendo when I was younger, and me and my brother used to fight each other, and he basically would kind of make believe fight, and I remember eventually we were actually fighting each other, like punching and everything, and just for fun, like we were actually punching each other, but it wasn't mean or anything. For some reason it was fun to punch each other and copy Street Fighter, but what's a kid gonna do, right? But yeah, I played Street Fighter this week, and I'm trying to learn Cammy, mostly because I like the character. It's really cool. I like the mechanics of flipping around and kicking, and I want to get better at her. But my main Ryu, which is carrying me through Silver and Super Silver, it's a fun time. I'll always come back to Street Fighter, mostly because it's probably the fighting game of, like, it's my choice of fighting game. If I were to play another fighting game, it'd probably be something like Marvel vs. Capcom, or something, the second one, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I like the anime look of that game. But Street Fighter will always be there. We'll see if I climb and get into ultra silver, or even into gold. That's always the goal. Gold is the goal, and we'll see if we keep climbing in that, because I love Street Fighter. Rainbow Six Siege. Anybody play Rainbow Six Siege? Rainbow Six Siege. I would say it's probably my favorite FPS. Yeah, I would say it's probably my favorite FPS. Mostly because the gunplay is almost perfect. It's so satisfying when you get a headshot and you're like peeking around a corner, and then you pop somebody's head off, and you quickly maneuver that into another kill, and sometimes you could carry a game 5v1, and it's actually possible, like highly possible, to 5v1, mostly because the time to kill is pretty short. You could just like burst fire somebody or headshot them and kill them instantly. And it's definitely probably my favorite first person shooter. and the fact that it's a PvP game and highly competitive. And of course, there's a rank system. CAB 2013, I got to get into that rank system. But the highest I got was gold in on PC, and then I think high silver on PS4. And I'll definitely be playing more of that. I got the characters, I got them all, and hopefully the new seasons will be great. And the strategies and all that. Hopefully, I get used to finding different angles and using strategies with different characters and stuff. It's a great game. It's a really good game. It's definitely a fun one that I'll always go back to. And yeah, that's pretty much what I played this week. I've basically been talking about all those games this whole time. I didn't even get to like my main topic, or my main topics. Well, something happened this week. The Xbox Live event. Now, this event was it was interesting, mostly because it was pretty much similar to the PlayStation event. And, they were talking about games. Like, this was going to be the event where they show off their games and everybody should be excited because, the last, I think the last news that we got was kind of disappointing. It was just kind of not too much to talk about. And this time around was kind of similar. We had the Halo demo that they showed off, and Halo Halo looks good, but it doesn't look that good, right? It, like, you look at the old Halo and current Halos, and it doesn't look that much better than the other Halos, let me tell you. Like, the Master Chief's armor looks pretty clean looking. Like, it doesn't look scuffed up. There's not really that much detail in the armor. It just looks really polished and nice, you know what I mean? And when you get down to the gameplay, it just kind of looks really like, it doesn't look detailed. Like, you look at a game like Destiny or Destiny 2, and you've got environments that are just amazing. The art detail and everything just looks beautiful. And in the Halo demo, everything just kind of looked soft shaded, and the brutes didn't look too detailed. They just kind of looked like the old brutes. If anything, I prefer the older looking brutes to this one. And the grunts look the same. They used as little detail as possible and didn't update any characters. Even Master Chief kind of has less detail in his armor, and it's really strange. Describing this game, because it graphically it looked kind of nice and sleek, but at the same time graphically it didn't have much to show. The grass kind of doesn't look that much greater. I feel like The Witcher 3 grass is a lot better, and that's 5 years ago when that game came out. And they're trying to show off the Xbox powerhouse, and the first showing of the event is Halo, and it just looks okay. It just looks okay. There's nothing amazing about it. And personally, I was disappointed with the way it looked, mostly because I'm not too invested in Halo anymore. I mean, the last game I played was Halo 4, and I didn't like the way the story was going after hearing about Halo 5 and the new characters that they're introducing and how they're kind of taking Master Chief out of the limelight. I hear that you didn't really play Master Chief in Halo 5, which is kind of a travesty in my opinion. The game kind of revolves around Chief, and if anybody thought otherwise, that this wasn't a Master Chief game, they're crazy and insane. Aside from ODST, which is different because ODST was telling the story of, like normal drop. What do they call it? Orbital drop shock troopers or something like that. But that little side story was cool, along with Reach, mostly because they're just side stories. But as a main Halo game, and you don't have Chief, and he's not the main protagonist, it's kind of, you got a really cool main character, and you just decide to write him off. It's really strange. And, I heard things about that story, and I didn't play Halo 5, and I didn't want to play Halo 5. And so I didn't play it, and now Halo Infinite is coming out, and from the viewing of the demo, it doesn't make me want to play it. It doesn't make me want to play it. Yeah, it doesn't look any better. I think Reach looks better, which is kind of sad. But anyways, that was the Halo showing. I'm a little disappointed in it. Maybe that was just kind of like a like a beta type thing, and they'll make things look better. I don't know. Hopefully. Probably not. Most likely not. But, what are you going to do? I'm looking for Cyberpunk. That's what I'm doing. Cyberpunk looks way different, like way better than all these other games coming out. There's a few small titles that came through. They had a few trailers. I didn't write all this down. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head, so sorry if that's a little weird. But at least it wasn't like PlayStation where they had like what do they call them? The snacks, the insect snacks or whatever, bug snacks. It was so random. It was so freaking random. And Ratchet and Clank, I'm not interested in Ratchet and Clank. If they made a Jak and Daxter game, my mind would be like blown. It would be through the roof. I'd be freaking out. Jak and Daxter 4 or Jax 4 or something like that, or Jak 4. But nope, they're still keeping the Ratchet and Clank series going, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. But the Xbox event, I think they had Forza show, and the game looks good, but it's a racing game, so I honestly prefer Mario Kart or those fun PvP games, Mario Kart type games over realistic Forza games. And I think the game that I like more, that's more realistic, is Dirt, like the Dirt series. But yeah, Forza showed, and looks good, same as usual, but I'm not interested. And there were some rare games, Everwild, I believe, and the game looks good, but it doesn't, all of these showings were basically trailers, and there was not really any gameplay. The concept looks great. I'm honestly interested in it. It's been a while since I was interested in a rare game. I didn't even play Sea of Thieves, but there's that game Everwild, which looks all right. And then, of course, they did a couple of showings of like Ori and which is kind of things done already, which is kind of weird. Like they're trying to showcase new things, but then they're talking about Ori and the Will-o-the-Wisp, which I have nothing against, but you're having an Xbox showcase for your new console, and you're showing a game that already exists. It's kind of weird. I think there was several other small games, or who knows, maybe they're bigger than I think, but in my mind's eye, they didn't really show that much. But I think the biggest thing that they were trying to blow everybody's minds with was the end of the thing, which was Fable. I guess they're remaking Fable. Like, it wasn't titled anything else. It was just Fable, self-titled. I was never a big fan of Fable, mostly because there was a lot of hype around it when I was younger, and I was always a Nintendo PlayStation kid, and I liked Halo a lot, but when people were talking about Fable and how it was amazing, it was one of the best games ever, and then I was thinking, okay, I'll try it out. I'll try Fable, and I tried the game out, and easily one of the worst graphics of the generation. I hated the look of the game. It looked terrible. It ran terrible. Like I remember it being kind of clunky, from what I remember, and the visuals of the game, the artistic style. Like I remember them having like big hands and big feet. I think it was like the character models looked really, really dumb looking, and the game looked terrible to me. It just looked terrible. And I played it for a little bit and got bored, and I didn't like that game. I didn't like it. And then, of course, Fable 2 came out, and I immediately got turned off. I remember wanting to try it. I was just like, all right, let's give Fable another chance. Fable 2, let's go. And the story, basically the beginning concept of the story was the same as the first Fable, where you have a sibling who dies and whatnot. And I was thinking, wait, what? This isn't original at all. You basically did the same thing as your first game. And I don't really know where you go with that. I mean, like, you copy the same idea from your first game, and people praise, like, I don't know. I guess the story was good throughout the rest of the game. I don't know. But, you know, the whole Fable series just didn't look great to me. It didn't play great to me. And so seeing that they're remaking the Fable, it just left a sour taste in my mouth. And I'm pretty sure everybody who saw me on the stream and how disappointed I was at the end of it, the Xbox event left me wondering if I was gonna get an Xbox. I actually, you know what? There is no point to get an Xbox because they're gonna have it on PC, right, with the Game Pass and everything. And you know, for those who want to get an Xbox, you know, good luck to you. Maybe they'll have something in the future for Xbox players, but I have a PC, so you know I'll probably just be getting the Game Pass, and get access to the games through that way. But the Xbox Live event left me kind of not caring about what's going to happen as far as consoles in the future. The PS5 didn't really show too much either that I'm interested in, other than, I guess, Demon Souls, and I feel like there's a couple games, but those are out to like 2021 and stuff like that. So, and of course Resident Evil 8, which is probably going to be on all consoles and, you know, PC. So, nothing too much there. But, you know, that's honestly pretty much it for the Xbox Live event. It was fun to watch and talk with the people and talk with everyone there, but you know, that was something that happened this week that I figured I could talk about. And also on another thing I want to talk, you know, I love music. I love playing the guitar. I'm pretty sure some of you have probably seen my guitar. Well, it's actually my wife's, but, you know, it's mine now. Just kidding. But I play some guitar for the fun of it, and I'm not too great. Maybe I should invest more time in it, but just up my skill more and everything. Currently, I just kind of play it by ear and have fun with it. And I do have melodies in my mind, and I try to create certain songs, and sometimes I have lyrics for some, but for the most part, I just strum and play. And recently, just I believe it was a couple days ago, I, you know, just decided to play the guitar, and then I recorded some stuff, and I like the sound of a song I was playing, and I started recording it, and I put a second, guitar sound edited and everything, and to the best I can do in just like 30 minutes to an hour. I just kind of messed around and put a song together, and it's something that I always wanted to do, like when I was younger, and I had some friends who, got into the guitar, and they started playing drums, and they always wanted me to get up there and sing, right? To be like the lead vocals and do that. I mean, I don't think my voice is amazing, but I do like to sing. And I put a song out there, recorded one, and just kind of see how it is, and seeing if people will like it. Put it on SoundCloud, and I plan on making more. It was kind of a demo because it was kind of like quickly made and slightly produced, I guess. But I plan on doing more, and most likely writing lyrics, and maybe putting more into that song, making it more refined, and to the best of my ability, making music. And that kind of leads me into more future goals that I'd like to bring up. And I kind of changed some things on the channel at Cab 2013 at Twitch TV. Lately, I had the channel point system where I would do drawings for people who requested them, and they would just pick a character, and from any video game or from whatever they thought. And I've done multiple characters for some Dark Souls, and there's some Destiny that I'm working on, and Dead or Alive, and certain other characters, some anime. And it's been fun. It's been really good. I've been enjoying it. Unfortunately, it's really time consuming, and I've been coloring them and basically trying to do it to the best of my ability. And it takes several hours to do one piece, and it's been nice getting a bunch of requests and people liking them, and asking for more. And I am definitely happy that you guys are contributing to my enjoyment and enjoying what I do. But unfortunately, it's all time consuming, like all the things that I'm trying to do, like the podcast and artworks and streaming, and of course the music that I'm putting into it. And I kind of decided to make a Patreon, to see if people will help support the time I put into it, and if you want higher quality artworks from me, and you feel that it's worth it to put money into it, then feel free to support me on Patreon. And I put that as one of my tiers and rewards for the Patreon is colored artworks, which I used to do. So I changed the channel point system to where I'm just gonna do just sketches, just kind of like pencil, black and white sketches, no color, for people. And if you do want color, just do the Patreon and support me through that. And I'll definitely put more time into it when there's some sort of monetary value. And we'll get those colored images out. And for the people who have already requested drawings from me. Those I still plan on doing color drawings. It's as far as this point onward. I'm just going to do sketches. But the previous ones on my request queue, I'm going to do color drawings for that. But I'm just letting you guys know that, it'd be nice to get paid for my artwork. You know what I mean? And, you'll be able to get exclusive peeks at, what I'm doing with my music and art and podcasts, behind the scenes stuff. And I maybe I could figure out some more things to add on there, but either way, I'll still be trying to put all this stuff out. And that's basically the next big step that I'm taking, to try and see if I could make this hobby more a profession. And I definitely don't want to work at Walmart anymore. I'm trying to make more of what I got in my own personal skills and my enjoyment and I don't know if you could count it as hobbies if I put so much time into it and try to refine it. But thank you guys for watching my channel and just supporting me through watching. But I think for more extreme, time consuming, as far as my higher skill and professionalism goes, I think Patreon seems like the next step. And I hope you guys will join me in this venture and kind of support me through that, whether it be through my streaming, and a lot of you are kind of supporting me through subscriptions, and that's fine. But a lot of this takes time, and I want to make the most of it. And it'd be awesome to make this like a full-time profession and bring content and entertainment to all of you, and not worry about having to work retail for a longer amount of time. And I don't know, we'll see how far this grows. And thank you all for joining me. And I'll just wait for my next podcast, and I'll think of something to talk about, mostly because we've been going on for more than an hour here, and my voice is starting to get a little tired. But yeah, I plan on making some music, more art, video games, drawing, streaming, all the stuff that you guys come watch me for, and laugh and hang out. It's been good times. And I'll be back as soon as I can. And thank you for listening. If you made it this far, thank you. You're my hero. And like the fool I am, it is time for me to end this podcast, because it's been this is the longest I've talked to myself alone. And if you're interested in joining the podcast, then I have topics like Resident Evil, video games, Final Fantasy, whatever you guys want me to talk about. If you guys want to talk to me about something, then feel free to let me know, and we'll get you on here, and heck, we'll talk. But as for now, that's pretty much it. And thanks for listening, guys. The radio's going out.